Today, Braille continues to play a crucial role in the lives of blind individuals, enabling them to read, write, and participate in the world in ways that were once unimaginable. The development of Braille is a monumental achievement in the history of accessible communication for blind individuals. It marked the beginning of a revolution that allowed those with visual impairments to engage with the world of written language, facilitating education, independence, and participation in society. The system was developed by Louis Braille, a Frenchman who, in 1824, at the age of 15, created a tactile writing system that has since become synonymous with literacy for the blind. To understand the significance of Braille's development, it is necessary to first examine the context in which it emerged. Before Braille, there were some attempts to create written forms of communication for the blind, but these systems were often cumbersome, limited, and impractical. It was Louis Braille's genius that transformed the possibilities for blind literacy. Prior to the invention of Braille, various methods were used to enable blind people to read and write. These methods were often quite rudimentary and not suitable for widespread use. One of the earliest forms of tactile writing was the night writing system, invented by Charles Barbier, a French army captain in the early 19th century. Barbier's night writing was developed for soldiers to communicate in the dark without using sound. This system, which utilized raised dots on paper, was meant to allow soldiers to read messages silently during nighttime operations. However, the system was not particularly effective for the blind because it was too complex, used too many dots, and was not intuitive. Barbier introduced his system to the Royal Institute for Blind Youth in Paris, where Louis Braille was a student. Braille, who had been blinded at the age of 3 after an accident involving a needle, was an ambitious and curious student. At the age of 10, he entered the institute, where he was introduced to Barbier's night writing system. Louis Braille, however, was not satisfied with the night writing system. While he appreciated the idea of tactile reading, he found that Barbier's system was too complicated and impractical for everyday use, especially for children and the blind community. Braille sought a simpler and more efficient way for blind people to read and write. At the age of 15 in 1824, Braille devised a system that used only 6 dots, arranged in a rectangular cell of 2 columns and 3 rows. These 6 dots could be arranged in various combinations to represent the alphabet, numbers, punctuation marks, and even musical notation. The core innovation of Braille's system was its use of a binary code, with each cell containing 6 possible positions, each of which could either be raised or flat. This allowed for a vast range of combinations, which could represent not only letters, but also numbers, punctuation marks, and special symbols. The simplicity and flexibility of the system made it much more practical than earlier tactile systems, and it soon became apparent that Braille's invention would have a profound impact on the lives of blind individuals. The structure of Braille is relatively simple and based on a cell composed of 6 dots. Each dot in the cell can either be raised or flat, leading to 64 possible combinations of raised dots. This system can represent all the letters of the alphabet, numbers, punctuation, and even more specialized symbols, such as mathematical and musical notation. The standard Braille alphabet consists of 26 letters, with each letter corresponding to a unique pattern of raised dots. The letters A through J are represented by the upper row of dots in the cell. The letters K through T are represented by the same patterns as the first 10 letters, but with an additional raised dot in the bottom left corner of the cell. The remaining letters U, V, W, X, W, and Z are represented by additional combinations of raised dots in the lower right part of the cell. In addition to the alphabet, Braille also includes numbers and punctuation. Numbers are represented by the same patterns as the first 10 letters of the alphabet, but they are preceded by a special symbol to indicate that the following characters are numbers. Punctuation marks, such as commas, periods, and question marks, are also represented by specific patterns of raised dots. Over time, Braille expanded to include additional symbols, including those used for mathematics, science, and music. Specialized codes were developed to represent scientific notations, such as formulas and equations, as well as to represent musical notes and other artistic expressions. These developments further demonstrated the adaptability of Braille and its potential for a wide range of applications. When Braille first introduced his system, it was met with resistance, even within the community of the blind. Many educators and administrators at the Royal Institute for Blind Youth initially rejected Braille's system, preferring to continue using the existing raised letter systems, such as the one developed by Charles Barbier. Despite these objections, Braille continued to refine and promote his system. One of the main reasons for resistance to Braille was its departure from the traditional methods used to teach blind students. Raised letters, which were used before Braille, were similar to the embossed letters of the alphabet and could be read by touch in a way that resembled traditional reading. Braille's system, on the other hand, required a new approach to tactile reading, which many found difficult to accept at first. Moreover, Braille's system was much more compact than the raised letter systems, which made it harder to understand for those unfamiliar with it. Another significant obstacle was the slow adoption of Braille in educational settings. The Royal Institute for Blind Youth, where Braille had studied, did not adopt his system for several years, and it took time for Braille to convince other institutions to use it. Nevertheless, despite the challenges, Braille continued to promote his system and work toward its widespread acceptance. Though initially met with resistance, Braille's system slowly gained acceptance, especially as it became clear that it offered a more practical and effective means of reading and writing for the blind. The first major breakthrough came when the Royal Institute for Blind Youth officially adopted Braille's system in 1834, 10 years after it was created. This marked the beginning of a wider acceptance of Braille throughout the blind community in France. As word spread about Braille's system, other countries began to take notice. By the mid-19th century, Braille had begun to be adopted in various other countries, including England and the United States. In the United States, Braille's system was introduced by Samuel Gridley Howe, the founder of the Perkins School for the Blind, who played a crucial role in popularizing Braille in the U.S. The international spread of Braille was also aided by the establishment of organizations for the blind, such as the National Braille Press in the United States and the British and Foreign Blind Association in the UK. These organizations helped promote Braille and publish books and materials in the system. Through these efforts, Braille began to be recognized not only as a means of literacy, but also as a symbol of the rights of blind individuals to access education and participate in society. The 20th century saw significant advancements in Braille technology and its application. One of the most important innovations was the development of the Braille typewriter in the 1890s. This device allowed blind individuals to write Braille more efficiently and with greater precision. In the 1960s, the advent of the electronic Braille machine further improved accessibility, enabling blind individuals to type and read Braille electronically. In addition to the development of Braille technology, significant efforts were made to standardize the Braille system internationally. In 1932, the International Braille Commission was established, and it worked to standardize Braille in various languages, ensuring that Braille could be used universally, regardless of country or language. Today, Braille exists in many languages, including adaptations for Arabic, Chinese, and other non-Latin scripts. In the 21st century, technological advancements have further revolutionized the accessibility of Braille. The development of Braille e-readers, which allow users to read Braille on electronic devices, has made it possible for blind individuals to access digital content more easily. Additionally, the proliferation of screen readers and speech-to-text technology has further enhanced the independence of blind individuals, though Braille remains the gold standard for literacy. Despite the advancements in technology, Braille remains an essential tool for blind individuals. It provides a level of literacy and independence that is unmatched by other forms of communication. Braille not only allows blind individuals to read books, newspapers, and other written materials, but it also enables them to write, take notes, and participate in academic and professional settings. Braille is an integral part of blind culture, offering a sense of belonging and connection to a larger community. In recent years, advocacy for Braille literacy has increased, with many organizations and educators emphasizing the importance of Braille for the future of blind individuals. Studies have shown that Braille literacy is linked to better academic outcomes, higher employment rates, and greater independence. As such, efforts continue to promote the learning and use of Braille, especially in an era where technology can sometimes overshadow its importance. The development of Braille in 1824 by Louis Braille was a pivotal moment in the history of accessibility for blind individuals. Braille's system transformed the way blind people could access written information and allowed them to engage more fully with society. Despite initial resistance, Braille's invention gradually gained acceptance and became a standard for literacy and communication. Today, Braille continues to play a crucial role in the lives of blind individuals, enabling them to read, write, and participate in the world in ways that were once unimaginable. Braille's legacy is a testament to the power of innovation and perseverance, and it remains a symbol of hope and possibility for the blind community. Thank you for watching Historical Moments. We hope you enjoyed this trip through history. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories from the past. Until next time, keep exploring the moments that changed history.